Drop is 52 minutes, so it literally will be 8:52.
Yeah.
Right now, I have to stop saying.
And we're here. We're live. Guess what? Sam's in studio, which is rare for a road game, but you know what? He's here, and I think he just walked into a spider's web, a cobweb. Let's get going. Stars Pregame Show. Game 1 against the Jets starts right now.
Get ready, boys.
This is the DLLS Stars Pregame Show. Our Stanley Cup playoff coverage is brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy responsibly. And by Happiest Hour. Check out Happiest Hour for the best spot to watch the NHL playoffs. Good evening. This is the DLLS Stars Pregame Show. I'm Owen Newkirk, and joining me tonight in studio is our very own Sam Nestler, and of course, the four-time ring owner, 2 in college, 2 Stanley Cup rings. It is
going with that.
Craig Ludwig.
Allen Americans.
Well, yeah, but you didn't
That's
play.
a ring.
You got 5. So he has literally championship brass knuckles.
I have a ring.
Wisconsin Hockey Hall of Fame ring.
My God, he's on to
Keep
6.
going.
Keep going. What's next?
I don't know. I think I got that one for auto
What about your
mechanics.
wedding
Did
ring?
you get one for softball at some point?
You don't have one on there.
It's in my bag. I was on the ice. Thanks
I'd
for
like to
pointing that
welcome
out.
both our
gonna be
DLLS regulars watching on YouTube, and for the first time, guys, our newest viewers on Victory Plus. So thank you for joining us. Really excited to be partnering with Victory Plus for the remainder of the playoffs for our pregame, watch-alongs for road games, and post-game show. So welcome, everybody there. By the way, we will have a special guest tonight. Brent Severin of Victory Plus and former teammate of our very own Craig Ludwig will be joining us for the watch-along tonight right here in the studio. So Sevy, Luds, Sam, and I will all be on the watch-along, which starts in a little under an hour. Puck drop about 50 minutes from now. Also, best terrible drum roll, we have new t-shirt drops. Check these out. Brand new, on sale on our alldls.com website.
Oh, I like the color of the
We
ring,
have
finisher.
the mikkorantanen Finn with 2 N's finisher and a Wyatt Johnston 16-bit shirt. They are available right now for pre-sale. Get them. Don't hesitate. By the way, my Finnish Mafia shirt I'm wearing tonight, it is also on pre-sale for a reorder. I know a bunch of you are trying to get a certain size and they sold out fast. Do not hesitate. If you like this one, the new ones, or any of the other ones, go on to All DLS right now and sign up or purchase them for the pre-sale, because there is no guarantee if you don't jump on it right now that you'll be able to get it later. And of course, diehards, you get a free shirt when you sign up for your annual subscription, and 20% off all other merchandise. So if you like those, do that. By the way, we have a new contest. Speaking of t-shirts, available now through Sunday, ball knower bonus. Here's how it works. You go, there's a link in our description on YouTube. If you're on the Victory Plus platform, you will have to go to our YouTube link to sign this up. You pick, will Wyatt Johnston score a goal in Game 3 of the Stars Jet series? Yes or no? That will then take you to our merchandise store, and you can, if you're right, you have to buy at least a $25 piece of merchandise, a shirt, sweatshirt, whatever. Whatever amount you spend, if you're correct, if Wyatt scores and you said he does, or if he doesn't in Game 3 and you said he didn't, you will get a gift card from DLLS for the same amount that you purchased. So if you spend $30 on, or let's say $35.99 on a shirt, and you get it right, you will get a $35.99 gift card. So you basically will
a free shirt.
double your money with all DLS merchandise. So if you think you have what it takes, take that shot. Click on the link. It's in the description, I believe, for our pregame show.
Don't listen to my picks if you want to
Go
win that
by and then you pick. Oh, Allie likes it too. Allie, one of our Edmonton fans, not Edmonton fans, Stars fans who happen to live in the suburbs of Edmonton. I want to make that clear. Okay, all of that out of the way, guys. Let's talk about the game.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I don't think we lost Luds quite yet.
Yeah, that was clear as mud. Perfect.
Okay. We got to start with Jason Robertson. It sure looks like he's going to play tonight. When we talked about this at length during our show yesterday, but now that we've watched a morning skate that was optional, and Pete said it's game time decision, we all think he's going to play. Luds, Robo back in the lineup, number 1 goal scorer in the regular season. I know playoffs are different, but what does that do to the Stars lineup?
Well, me personally, I'll have to wait and see where he's at. I mean, like you said, it's playoff hockey. He should be well rested.
And when you say where he's at, you're not necessarily talking about who he's playing with, but how he's playing.
No, I care less who he's playing with. I mean, the pace of the game. I mean, the pace of the playoffs is completely different. The physical play is completely different. You play against this team, and there's not a lot of space during the regular season. There's probably going to be less space in the playoffs. Winnipeg has a team full of structure, so it's a little bit more difficult to get off the wall with pucks. It's a little more difficult to get to the front of the net. So. And I would assume that that's all going to be monitored as the game moves along for him.
I think we have Wyatt or Robo still has his Band-Aid on. We'll have to take it off if he plays.
Well,
tonight.
we haven't seen him in the lineup.
We don't know
if he is officially in the lineup. Will we take
take
that
it
off?
Yeah, I'll take it off.
But for me, Robo, the main thing I see is Pete actually kind of joked about it yesterday and said it's easier for Robertson to come back than it is for Heiskanen because you see the way those two guys skates, and he's almost taking a little bit of a dig at Robo for not being the strongest skater. But what Luds just said is the key for me. It's not whether we see him flying up and down the ice or at full speed. It's can he get through those physical battles and get to those areas? Because in the playoffs, he's not going to get those wide open shots from the slot. He's going to have to work for it. And depending on who he's playing with, he might be in a certain situation where he's going to have to get to the front of the net more. And that, think to me, is the big challenge for his knee and his body and his conditioning to get up to this level.
He's usually the second layer coming into the offensive zone. So, when guys push people back, and there's generally a hole in the middle of the ice, as the puck carriers get a little closer to the net. As he comes in there, the difference with this team, at least what I've seen from Winnipeg, they have 5 guys. They bring everybody back, and they bring them down below the tops of the circles. So, every player is going to have to fight for a little more space.
Different than the regular season, I admit, but I also think the Stars are playing different than they did in the regular season. We've talked about it fair length over the last round. Luds, they are going to probably pack it in structurally more in front of their own net. Winnipeg is. So how does that change for the Stars as far as how they go about trying to get offense? And can they be more patient than they were against the Jets in the regular season and wait for their chances instead of trying to force stuff and create turnovers the other way?
I don't think they changed anything from the first round because they were more direct with their entries and they were more direct with their play with the puck. And then what I mean by that is the extra pass just across the top of the circles in the offensive zone. There generally wasn't one. And again, we can always think back to when the Marchment, Duchesne, Sagan line was all healthy and well. I mean, they just passed the puck into the net. Against the Winnipeg Jets, it's a little bit more difficult because those lanes aren't available. So for me, it's easier to play because let's just say it's Marchment. Let's say that line's back together again. And Marchment comes down the left-hand side, and you get to the top of the circles or just below it. Instead of making that extra pass because of the way that they bring guys back, the puck's going to the net. So that means that Duchesne and Sagan know puck's going to the net. Next thing you know, there's a race to the front of the net, which brings more bodies to the front of the net, which leads to more ugly goals. But I just think that's kind of playoff hockey.
I think cautious might be the wrong word, but for me, what you were just saying, and Owen mentioned it too, the Jets are so good at turning those into chances the other way, and they have guys who can convert when they get those 2-on-1, 3-on-2s the other way. For me, it's Dallas almost needs to take a second thought and maybe even an extra step to not make that pass back to the point if it's not there, to not make that cross-ice pass you're talking about. If it's not there 100% and you think there might be a risk, turn around, cycle it back behind the net, or throw it to the net. I think that being simple is even more important than it was in round one.
And it all adds up to offensive zone time. I mean, there was a game last night, and it was the Carolina game. I mean, there was a point in that game, and we know how Carolina plays. Everything is directed to the net. But the zone time halfway through the second period was something like 24 minutes to like 2 or 3. and it was just now, were Carolina getting quality scoring chances? Not necessarily all the time, but they spent the majority of the first half of the game in that zone. Ultimately won the game by playing that way.
It has an effect, even if they're not creating chances.
Well, you wear people down. What it does is if you're in your D zone and you're chasing around, there's a shot, there's a rebound, they retrieve it, and a shot and a rebound and rinse and repeat. Well, by the time you get the puck back, you're tired and you need to change. So what do? You get to the red line, you dump the puck in. Now that Carolina in this case gets back, they break it out and they go do it all over again. So that's kind of their MO. It's what they do, but that's not necessarily what Dallas does. But I just think during the playoffs, because of who you're playing against, that might be a way that you should look at.
Well, we know that Miro Heiskanen will not play tonight. Just so we don't need to spend a lot of time on Miro because he's been ruled out for game 1. Doesn't mean he won't be available for games 2 or beyond. We'll have to wait and see. But if we take a look at the lineup that is expected, now puck drop's still another about 40-plus minutes away, so they haven't started the warm-up yet, and the Stars had an optional skate. But based on their lines from yesterday, we have, of course, the Granlund, Hintz, and Rantanen line together. That Finnish line has been really good in the last, especially 3 or 4 games of the Colorado series. And then a flip-flop with Ben and Marchment as Robertson comes back in. And Luddy, we see the duos. The duos are Duchesne with Sagan, and I'm guessing in this one, Robertson and Johnston, and then plugging in Ben and Marchment to kind of fill out or complement those duos.
Yeah, I don't know about Robo playing on the right side.
Yeah.
That's just my thing. But I mean, you saw that in warm-up. Was it just a pregame skate or something like that?
This was
that
yesterday's practice.
What did they do today?
They had an optional, so not enough guys were out there.
So yeah, are you
suspicious it might be changed?
Well, I don't know. I mean, again, you have somebody coming back from an injury, maybe coming back a little sooner, which is nice. I don't know if you want to put him in a spot he's not really comfortable with and plays. Have we ever seen him?
Never lined up on the right.
I've never seen him play the right side except on the power play.
Yep.
So let's say they start with that with the way that they just lined up. The first change, if they didn't feel like it's going well.
Well, I don't know if they would do it right away. I mean, I think you have to give him a chance if you're going to stay there. Right. You have to give him an opportunity to ease into that. But my guess is while he was skating and just playing around in scrimmages and things like that, or 3-on-2s, that he wasn't on the right side. I mean, this is something new to you guys, and you guys are there watching.
It's the first time I've seen it.
It's puzzling to me. So, but maybe it's something they've looked at and they said, you know what, the left side of Winnipeg Jets, and we think Robo can take advantage of that. Maybe they're looking at the left side of the ice as far as the defense core goes, that they can take advantage of that coming in to the offensive zone there. So we'll see.
Sam, two things for you, Sam. One is, I think that they feel that the Granlund, Hintz, and Rantanen has been good enough. They don't want to break that up right away. That's probably why. And 2, Colin Blackwell, we talked about it, gets healthy scratched, assuming that Robo plays, which we are making that presumption. And nothing that he did wrong. He's been good. But when you have Evgeny Dodonov on your fourth line, that really shows incredible depth.
Yeah, I think we said this at the beginning of training camp and everything, is that Dodonov was playing. I can't remember if there was an injury or what the reason was. He was playing up the lineup a little bit early on, and we said this team is at its best when Dodonov's on the fourth line. And that's kind of crazy to say because he's a 20-goal, 40-point guy. But he's a perfect fit on that line. He brings a little more offense to a fourth line that's been really good. But Pete said it yesterday, they probably don't win that series without Colin Blackwell. Not only does he score the game winner, the overtime winner in game 2, but he was excellent when he was in there. He earned himself a spot and ended up, pushing other people out of the lineup. It just, to me, is a good problem. And Pete said the same thing. When you're in the playoffs, if you're having to really look at your lines and make a decision, we need to scratch this guy, but he doesn't deserve it, you're in a good spot. You don't want to be looking and say, which one of these 4 that are struggling do we want to pull out of the lineup?
Right. No, it's a really good problem.
It's a good problem. And so the other thing that I know, and the Pete said, I forget when it was, maybe February or January, I asked about one of the lines, and he said, look, we have our 3 centers. When it come playoff time, Rope Hintz, Matt Duchesne, Wyatt Johnston are going to be down the middle of the ice. That's not moving. And essentially, Sam Steele is their 4th. So to me, that also fluctuates effectively. That also is the reason for the fluctuation on the sides, is because you only have so many right-handed players if you're going to keep those guys down the middle. Like, they're not going to put Jamie Benn as their third-line centers and Wyatt on the wing, and that puts them in a spot where someone's going to have to play on their off wing.
I'm still going back to the Robo thing.
Yeah.
I gotta.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
And the reason, like, John, put them lines up again, and the only reason is, and I know that there is something with the Finns, right? I get it, but to me, if Robo comes back after 2-3 shifts and Pete leans into, how you feeling? I'm feeling good. I just flip-flop Granlund and Robo.
Yeah.
Granlund plays over on the right side. He's perfectly fine there. Robo, if you're Hintz and Rantanen and you're getting the puck, and Rantanen he makes passes, right? And Robo's feeling good, and he's your 40-goal guy, wouldn't you rather be passing to him than I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Granlund,
Yeah.
but to me, that just seems like, okay, he's there, and we're going to flip him. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
but
the only thing I'll say to you, Luds, is that this is the first time that we've seen Rantanen and Hintz be to the level that they could be with Granlund on their line.
I agree.
So to me, that's my only worry.
Don't you think that's more about Rantanen settling
very
in?
well could be?
Yeah.
Very well could be. It just that's the only worry I have looking at that and saying, like, if we flip them and all of a sudden Rope's not going as well and Rantanen's not playing, I just don't want to mess up the one line. Pete literally called it the only line that was consistent.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yep.
Up next, let's talk about the Winnipeg Jets here on the DLLS Stars Pregame Show.
If you're headed to the Stars game, there's no better pregame or postgame spot than the happiest hour. Just steps away from the AAC, grab a beer, devour some apps, then walk across the street and catch puck drop. Whether you're pregaming or postgaming, happiest hour brings the playoff energy with 40 TVs and a jumbo LED screen that turns game nights into events. Packed patios, skyline views, and a whole crowd of Stars fans. Happiest Hour doesn't just do apps, they do team happytizers. We're talking Ferris wheel of wings, a jumbo pretzel, a nacho tower, and more. All built to feed the whole lineup. Add that to a full menu of game day favorites, and you've got a playoff spread worth cheering for. Forget your basic bar setup. Happiest Hour is in a whole different league of itself. 50 beers on tap, signature cocktails, frozen drinks, and beer towels for the table. Join us for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. on weekdays and score, half off apps, and signature cocktails. It's the perfect warm-up before puck drop and the best value play in Victory Park. Whether it's a weekday or weekend, Game 7 or the off-season, Happiest Hour is our favorite spot. Check them out right down the street, right across the street from American Airlines.
Good job, Luds. Let's talk about Sleeper. Sleeper is the best fantasy platform out there, period, but they're also much more than that. You can put your puck or ball knowledge to the test by picking whether your favorite or least favorite player will have more or less than their projected stats each week or each night. I will get into my picks for Game 1 tonight in a second. With Sleeper, the more picks you combine, the more you can win, all the way up to 100 times your money. If you think you have what it takes, new users can download the Sleeper app, use the code DLLS Stars to get $55 in free entries when you place a $5 contest. Apply to any contest. It doesn't have to be your first. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. All right, let's get into the picks for tonight. Game 1, I have the Moose, Mikko Rantanen, score with more than 0.5 goals because, the guy's on a roll. It's an easy one. I also have Dallas Stars goalie Jake Oettinger with more than 25.5 saves, as I believe he will be busy tonight. And as you can see, if you're watching the video, I really wanted to pick something for Rope Hintz, but opted against it as I didn't think maybe Rantanen and Hintz would score tonight. So instead, I went with Wyatt Johnston getting more than 2.5 shots on goal instead. If all three of those hit, you can win 9.09 times your money. Boom, there it is. Game 1, Stars Jets Sleeper picks.
Thank you, Sam. Guess what? Live from Winnipeg, Leah Asimakopoulos of the Dallas Morning News showing video of Jason Robertson on the ice for the warm-up. We kind of anticipated this, but it's nice to see he's out there. Mark Scheifele is also on the ice for the Game 1 warm-up for the Jets. Josh Morrissey is not. That was the big news we saw this morning, was after being in a non-contact jersey at yesterday's optional practice in Winnipeg, the Jets' second leading scorer, Mark Scheifele, and a huge part of their offense is this morning in a normal jersey, went through line rushes, went through power play. Morrissey did not. He was out there in a non-contact. It looks like he and Logan Stanley are still not available, but I think for all intents and purposes, guys, Scheifele's going to play tonight. I think we knew that from this morning, but it appears he is. How big of a difference is it to have more Scheifele in the lineup from a power play perspective, from a 5-on-5? I mean, he is such a focal point of their offensive attack.
Yeah, and when he went through line rushes, he was on the top line with Connor and Flaherty. So, I mean, it was pretty evident that he was going to play. What it does, it makes their power play better. It makes their face-off circle better. It makes Kyle Connor better. So anybody he plays with, they're going to be better. It's no different than if you bring Miro Heiskanen back into the lineup, the decor is going to be better. So he is their guy. He's their, the guy that wears the C, and he's the head of the snake. And so you know that you've got to be hard on a guy like that. And when Morrissey gets into the lineup, whenever that is, you got to be hard on that guy. So I just think that he makes that team better. There's another weapon out there, and to me, what happens now is Pete DeBoer's got to find out how, and I guarantee they've already planned for him to be back in the lineup. How are we going to match up against him, and who are we going to have against him? And you have to, when you're on the road, you have to have a couple lines.
We'll take a look at their lines that we expect. This is from their morning skate today. Yesterday was optional; we didn't see them, but as you said, Luds, there is Scheifele right in the middle of the top line, and it pushes Nemesnikov, Lowry, Morgan Barron down. It also takes Toninato out of the lineup. Obviously, that makes him look a lot deeper down the middle.
Simply put, I think it slots everybody where they should be as far as the Winnipeg Jets coaching staff are concerned.
Sam, thoughts on what we're seeing here as we get ready for the first of what could be a very long series with the Jets?
Yeah, I think very eerily similar with Dallas. Is we know that the injuries were very similar with who they're missing in terms of Scheifele and Morrissey, very similar to Robertson, Heiskanen type of players. But one thing I've seen with the Jets is guys like Nemestikov and players that they had that are very good depth players have taken one step up so far for them in the playoffs. And I think that Scheifele obviously makes them more dangerous. He's another big body too, which they don't need any more big bodies against them right now. I mean, it's going to be a physical, tight series. They are deep. I think if any fans, I'm a little worried about the overconfidence of Stars fans right now because the Stars fans all said, we're done. We're getting swept in Colorado. And now all of a sudden they're saying we're going to win this in 5.
Well, you win a game 7 in the way they did.
It's going to be a
pretty good about
tight series. Don't underestimate.
Let's take a look at their defense. And, of course, with Morrissey out, it does change things a bit. As Luds, you see Hayden Fleury up with DeMello. But I think we're going to see really the usage is Sandberg and Pionk is going to be their top pairing for tonight.
Yeah, they're going to get some heavy minutes. There's no question about that. And I think that the size and physicality of Shen, that's another place. I've always liked Miller. He gets up in the play well. He's got a good shot from the point.
Boy, does he.
Yeah, he does have a bomb. He's not a big
100
guy
mile an hour plus.
Yeah.
So his technique has to be great because he's not a Drew Doughty stature to hit that shot.
Yeah. So, and of course the goalie. I mean, how many people around the country, and I'm talking Canada, U.S., and everywhere else, is just wondering how is Connor Hellebuyck going to play?
Well, I want to show you guys something, and to that point, let's take a look at the side-by-side comparisons of the first-round stats of Jake Oettinger and Connor Hellebuyck, home versus road. Now, if you look at their home numbers, they're relatively similar. Of course, the big thing for me that stands out is Hellebuyck 4-0. They won all 4 games at Canada Life Center, including a double overtime Game 7 win over St. Louis. His goals against, a little bit lower than Jake's. Save percentage, a little less, but what matters? 4 wins. Now take a look at his road stats compared to Jake's, and that's where things really jump off the page. Yeah, he's 0-3. That's most important. But look at the goals against average of 7.24. He was pulled in all 3 games. And look at the difference in the save percentage. A real negative for Hellebuyck and Luds, a real positive that Jake Ottinger's road numbers were his save percentage was so high.
But they're at home, right?
But they're at home.
Okay, they're at home. So I don't really care about them other ones right
Not
now.
tonight, but
I don't care.
In the series.
As good as he is, and we expect him to be good.
I just think you're going to see a different Hellebuyck.
You think?
I said this the other day. I think that with him sitting on the bench in that Game 7 with 2.5 minutes to go in the game, down by 2 goals, his teammates come back, they win that hockey game, and I just think he feels he owes them now.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see what happened, especially in the overtime and a little bit of the third period. I don't know. I mean, and I'm no goalie guy, but he appeared to be more aggressive in his play.
He was confident.
Yeah, confidence, and he came out. He wasn't just sitting down on the goal line like he normally does. So I'm just wondering if we'll see a change. I mean, again, a guy that has a goals against over the course of the season of 2, I don't expect him to change a ton. But again, I just think there's something that will be inside of him the way that game unfolded in Game 7.
Yeah. Well, he officially from Leah Robertson is in warm-up or is in line rushes, and it's the same
as
lines
we
as we
expected.
just posted with.
Can I say one more
on the
thing?
right wing.
Please.
I would just like to tell Sevy his sandwich is up in the fridge. That's all I want to tell. All right, Seth.
Sevy's here. He's going to be joining us for the watch along. It will be a lot of fun. I want to ask you guys about power play versus penalty kill, a.k.a. special teams. The Stars penalty kill was exceptional against.
I knew he was hungry. There he goes.
The Avalanche. There he goes. And it actually cost Colorado assistant coach Ray Bennett his job. We talked about that on the show the other day because the Avalanche power play really underperformed against the Stars in the first round. The Stars power play also scored 7 goals in 7 games. Now, they didn't do it in every game, but they were very effective. The Jets, Luds, had the number 1 power play in the regular season, and they were just okay against St. Louis in the first round. What are you expecting to see? And obviously you mentioned Scheifele. Not having Morrissey is a big thing, but getting Scheifele back should help their power play tonight.
Yeah, it's going to help them, but you're right. Morrissey's a big key to that. But when you see the way that, and we've all played, and we've seen how Rantanen now is on a different page when it comes to playing with Hintz and guys like that, that when Scheifele and Connor get together, there's the no-look passes that happen.
Yep.
Connor has the ability to kind of take his time until he gets to a certain spot on the ice, and then he knows he's going to be there. It reminds me of a conversation between Zuby and Brett Hull a long time ago. Zuby just told Hully, you just go where you're going to go. I'll get it there. And I think Scheifele and Connor have that kind of relationship.
Yeah, it's interesting. The only thing for me is that the Jets went from just dominating everything in the NHL during the regular season. They were first in every category, including the goalie. And then in the series, everything was mediocre. Their goalie was he was worse than mediocre. He was the worst goalie statistically in the whole playoffs. But their power play was middle of the pack. Their penalty kill was middle of the pack. Their scoring was middle of the pack. And that to me this goes with what Lud said. Which version of Hellebuyck are we going to see? I'm really interested. Which version of the Winnipeg Jets are we going to see? Is this going to be that 4-1 team that we saw when the Dallas just got smothered, or is it going to be this team that's not really sure what their identity is? That's what I'm really watching for tonight.
And I don't think we should expect, just like Robo, I don't think we should expect Scheifele's going to be the same guy, right? I mean, I don't anticipate that. I mean, you missed how many games did he miss?
He missed games 6 and 7.
2, yeah.
And part of 5 where he left.
So he's missed 2.5 games. Now I'm in a better mood.
Boss man's here.
Just deliver it right over
man's
here.
And he's wearing a new
and he's got the new shirt on.
Look at that.
Wow.
Look at
that.
Sharp.
Now you got to make sure they're straight, or John's going to have a fit.
Well, he's here, so go find him and say hi. All right, we have a couple of super chats, guys. I want to get through before it's too late. So, John, let's fire those up. We'll go through them in order. We'll start with Clorotis with a Brendan Smith and an Oettinger. Can we get a playoffs voice channel in the Discord? Sam, I'm guessing you have more thoughts on this than Luds.
I think voice means you can.
What does that mean?
You can all chat audio instead of
Ben. What does that mean?
Message. I don't know how to do it.
No, I think John is more aware. John, isn't this where they? This was like months ago when the diehards in the Discord discovered an ability to send a short voice message.
Oh, they've been doing that plenty.
Okay, so I haven't been here for a few games, so the button to put myself on camera is gone. So I guess we're doing disembodied voice again. No, this is a separate thing. You can send a voice chat the same way you can send a voice chat.
But are they asking for a separate channel where they can send voice chats, or just to be talking?
No, it's within the channel. You can start like a voice hangout, basically.
Oh, so they want to. Wow.
So they can do that at any time, but it just needs to be planned. So
interesting. All right, let's go to the next super chat.
Bing bang.
We have Burned Oils with a Canadian, Brendan Smith, and an 81, which isn't that Kyle Connor? 81?
Yes.
Can I buy Lud's Cancun t-shirt? Question mark.
Everything's for sale.
There you go. Next one.
Everything must go.
Bang.
Jason Dowdy with a Madonna 99 Cup here. If the Stars win the series, Luds must read us a selection from Sean Avery's new hockey romance novel.
Oh, of all people.
Let's put it this way.
He's in the new season
After
of Shoresy, too.
that happiest hour read that went for 1 minute and 15 seconds, right? And I was trying to
You
speed
did well.
read it.
You did well.
You did good.
Probably sounded like it, too. Can we make them a little longer here? Happiest hour.
John, was that the last one? Okay, so we're, of course, getting ready for our watch-along, which we will have Brent Severin joining us from Victory Plus alongside
We'll have
Luds,
some
Sam, and myself during the whole game. It'll start in maybe 15 minutes or so. Don't forget to smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe here on YouTube. If you're on Victory Plus watching us, thank you for joining. We will be back on that platform as well as our YouTube for the whole watch-along and then our full post-game show. And, of course, we want to thank our presenting sponsors of tonight's pregame show, Bud Light and Happiest Hour. Any final thoughts, Luds, before we get to puck drop of this new series?
I'm hoping that I'm guessing this is going to be a low-scoring game. I'm just guessing between these two teams, but I would like to see Dallas pick up right where they left off, and direct play and direct as many pucks to the net, because there will be a whiteout here tonight, and get those people sitting on their hands, because they can, when they go quiet, they go quiet.
Yeah.
Like they're not even there. So that would be my hope for first 10 minutes of the hockey game.
Sam, we haven't brought it up yet, but they are talking about the Stars' inability to win a Game 1 in recent history.
Yes, 8 in a row, I believe it is. 2020 Stanley Cup Final, Joel Hanley's goal against the Lightning
Tampa,
was the last Game 1 that they were victorious in. A lot of those came at home, so this could be a little change. But for me, I'm interested in seeing if there's any carryover, hangover from the crazy, dramatic, emotional Game 7s for both teams, because it was not just a Game 7 for either one of them. It was a wild one, and I'm wondering if they come out a little flat in the beginning of this game.
John, if you would flash up that brand new T-shirt drop one last time before we sign off. Don't forget, the new Wyatt Johnston 16-bit T-shirt is up for pre-sale, along with the Mikko Rantanen finisher and a special reboot or second pre-sale of the Finnish Mafia shirt, which I'm wearing, and boy, isn't that sharp. Get that while you can, because there is no guarantee that will be refreshed again. So if you don't want to lose it, you better do it now.
Oh,
and
boy.
By the way, look who's here.
Yeah, get one in.
There's Sevy.
Fire
Sevy
one
might
in
want to grab a cold one. Grab a cold one, Sev.
Sevy, Luds, Sam, and myself, along with John, will be here for the full watch along in just minutes here on DLLS. Thanks for joining us on the pregame show. We'll see you soon.
I believe that they are going to crush these guys.
I'd never.
We all silly like the mayor.